All right, test. Audio's looking good. I'll turn it down in the headset. How you guys doing? Great day, great week, busy week, but good week. Let's get going. How are you guys doing? Hope you all are well. Per the usual, the stream is intended for educational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as financial advice. Thank you for showing up. It's your dude Runner. We're going over the weekly whale watch on our live stream that we do every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do it once a week, and then we go hit the Discord up. Go check out our Discord link at the main website. That's always our URL to get into the Discord. There's no paywalls there, and that's where like the OG traders, even the ones that are better at me with these tools, are absolutely killing it. And if you're curious about any of our tools, check us out at the website. And I've started picking back up the tutorial stuff, so definitely go check this stuff back out. We're adding more of the information here. I just dropped the Coinbase versus Binance Premium tool, as well as all the YouTube tutorial video for that. But hope you guys are doing well. Let me know, is the mic doing okay, loud and clear? What is up, Fletch? It's been a while. What's up, Sean? What's up to you guys? And thanks for all these dudes are on Twitter. But we got this going on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays, and YouTube. Now, what if you recall it? I still call it tweeting. I don't think we're ever going to drop that. I don't know what you want to call it, jeeting, or... It's hard for me to still do X. Even when I go to the website, I still mark it as... I don't type x.com. I still do Twitter, but it does a redirect. But anyway, yeah, that's the tutorials. We'll get going, because today, this is going to be a fun, crazy stream. But, let me check. Everything's looking good. Sounds good. Chat's good. Stream's not dropping. All right, let's get going. So, I love dogs. And if you guys don't follow this Twitter account, it's called We Rate or Dog-Rates. And, I just love this. And I can't even tie it into anything that we have going on this week. But I wanted to show you guys anyway, because it's awesome.
What are you doing? What? No. 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 Hey!
We love the pups, and as a reminder, so they gave this dog a 13 out of 10. This is Mako. He has no regard for law and order, and most importantly, no regrets. And if you don't know, we do support our local dog shelters. I had a recent long-term Rainbow Trends client. He's been with us for like damn near 3 years, and I was asking him, just chatting, like, hey, how'd you hear about us, stuff like that. And one of the things that came up is saying is like, I support dog shelters and I'm all about helping out these elder dogs. And I was like, he liked that we did that too, so I wanted to bring this back up. We have our page, Rainbow Trends Dog Shelter. There's my pups with the rainbow bandanas, and typically, we spend a good chunk of our budget every few months or so, and we drop off a bunch of donations over to the local pound and help them out. And we drop the links as well for the rainbow bandanas if you want to rock your dogs. And there's C Dale B. He's got his Vitals dogs, and of course Crypto Dimes cats, which we're trying to get a bandana on them, but they do not want to wear them. So I'll get there one day, but I've been trying to get a bandana on those two, Huck and Hugo, for about a year, and we're just not going to get there. But whatever, it is what it is. Moving on. So this week has absolutely been insane. We've been covering a lot of serious things the past few weeks. Very, very important things that are going crazy, things that we need to keep eyes on. We've been counting down calendars. We've been looking at forward projections, all this other stuff. And then this week started reminding me of like 2017 silly season. It's been absolutely bonkers. So I'm going to cover all the bonkers stuff and try to relay it in where I think we're going. What are some things that we're seeing? What are we going to keep track of? What we think the whales are doing and how we can go from there. But as always, we do these streams for free. So if you could like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff greatly helps us out on YouTube and Twitter. Even you guys, it even tracks the stats of you guys chatting in the YouTube. So definitely blow it up and hit me up in the chat. So we read it as we go through, and if you guys have suggestions or questions, we'll go through it. But as we go with the silliness and the craziness this week, I loved this post. We are so early. NPR was doing articles why there's so much excitement around a cryptocurrency called stablecoin. I'm very bullish on stablecoins. USDC to $2 is my target, so It's awesome. But yeah, retail's coming. Retail's kind of here. We'll see. But another thing, it's very rare that I get inverse brought in, and I got in on this one. So there was Jacqueline Claire 80s, the woman who was arrested for texting a man 159,000 times over 10 months after one date. That's 530 texts a day, and I got in. So comparing that, we normal people tagging inverse bra 100,000 times a day, and of course decentricity bringing it in. I actually am curious what his news feed looks like, because it has to be insane. He has to have some of the most tags like ever, other than like Elon Musk, every week. But anyway, moving on. So bull runs on, crypto's going on, XRP's hitting all-time highs, and we've been talking as if BitBoy's in jail. So I asked Grok this week, and I was like, hey, if we raised a lot of money, could we technically bail out BitBoy? Lo and behold, Ben's out, and has been out for a while. I had no idea. I assumed he was behind bars. People were roasting him about some recent mugshot photos. I think some people have maybe some tweets to delete, but our boy's out. And I don't know about you. I'm waiting for the return, because I can't imagine the post-jail streams from BitBoy. And he hasn't posted May 29th, June 6th, April 16th. Let's see if there's any replies. June 6th is the last one. That's it. I guess someone else has his account. I haven't heard back, but I'm telling you, our boy is never out. He's going to come back, and it's going to be probably a crazy stream. Every time I think he can't top it, dude, he tops it, and it's awesome in its own way. So, another one, speaking of comebacks, if you guys haven't been tracking Murad, our beloved degen with probably the best hair in crypto, Murad's portfolio has hit an all-time high. 4 months ago, he was down to just $12 million, 0 trades, and he's back up to $56 million. So, all the people that have talked shit, I have to say it. Murad is all about that life. He's telling you he's all in on these altcoins, these meme coins, and he lives that life, and he has stayed diamond-handed it, and he's got the rewards from it. So all power to him. Maybe we'll get him on an interview one day. So, yep, that's the same one. You can actually go check him out and see like all the things he's got, but he's got a quarter million in PopCat. Shout out SPX, Giga, Bitcoin Retardo, and Minio. But anyway, speaking of crazy, we'll keep it crazy. And that's kind of that's kind of where we're at right now. There's been some crazy stuff that happened this week, and we need to look at it, because the craziness feels uncomfortable, and then we're eventually going to get uncomfortable with it, and that's likely when it bites us in the butt. So, anywho, let's take a look at it. But the White House dropped this week, and I just think it's crazy. But it's whatever. Here we go. Whatever timeline we're in, what simulation, White House is dropping money, making it rain videos with eagles and dollars. We're here, right? That's what this is all about. Oh, I'm sorry, the audio wasn't playing. Here we go. I don't know who's behind this account, but it's insane. But here we are. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. And also, I'll tell you something. We had a previous dip this week where crypto was being talked about, Bitcoin's being talked about, Fed rates were being talked about, and all of a sudden the news started dropping that Trump was going to fire Jerome Powell, and the market nosedived, and then randomly he backed up, said, whoa, I'm not firing him, because the Supreme Court wouldn't let him anyway. But backed off on that, lo and behold, and proceeded to say, no, I'm not going to fire him. But remember, we were covering the charts. Jerome's out in May. It's not that far away. You think it is, but it's really not. We get guaranteed rate cuts in May. when Bitcoin is going to be peaking out. So it's going to be really interesting. What's up, Pepe Cinco? What time is it over there, by the way? My Aussie, my beloved Aussie trader. Not this Aussie, the real Aussie. This one lives in Tejas. But anyway, but speaking of all that, the crazy enough stuff going down. He's not going to fire Jerome Powell. He is going to fire Jerome Powell. Today, he signed an executive order that is apparently going to bring 401K's online, retirement savings into Bitcoin and crypto. Now, this just hit. I haven't got to read it, but this is why the market instantly shot up. If you guys don't know, it's $9 trillion that can potentially come online and start buying Bitcoin. So you can full port your 401k and savings directly into altcoins, get you some Litecoin, some Cardano, some XRP, some EOS, and it's just going to be a great time. This is the type of craziness that takes me back to like 2017 vibes. So maybe it's time. Maybe it's time we go for parabolic stuff. So Pepe's at 10:30 a.m. So anyway, we covered Huck and Hugo earlier. Let's go back. Let's take a little backtrack to Dime. Dime's posting the aura farming. Apparently, Vigil can let you put your own cartoon character, which is just awesome. Because this is where we're at, dudes. Like, we're gonna have fun. We went through the bear market. We're gonna have a good time. We're having bull market. But we're talking craziness. We're talking full port. Your 401ks are gonna have access to altcoins now. Like I said, I don't know how this is. This going directly into Coinbase, Kraken? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. And of course, Dip Wheeler hits it. How Fartcoin looks at me when I'm allocating my 401k to it. There is an actual potential that someone could 401k into Fartcoin, which is just the most. Let's just have fun in this simulation and go from there. I don't know what to tell you. But let's take a look at the Fartcoin chart regardless, since we're having a Dip Wheeler moment here. I guess I need to add this to our Coinbase Premium tool because it's currently not there. We do have Ripple and Doge. I can update and do a Dip Wheeler update. But anyway, Fartcoin continues to range. It's gone through the whole expansion and becoming a top 50 coin now? Maybe top, I don't remember what it is exactly, but it's way up there. And volatility's died. We're no longer hitting the cyan bands. The machine learning in these Rainbow Trends algorithms are learning the system. Every time you touch a band, it's going to pull back and learn from it. But even since then, we haven't touched these since April. It's a while ago. And now we're moving sideways and we're moving on. So we're looking at ranges between these upper and lower red and green standard deviation or reversion bands. And essentially, man, we just keep doing the repeated white candles into here, bounce all the way to pink. These are yin-yang trades we call them. Where you go full white and you go all the way to the other side. Right now, it's looking like we're either about to reverse and do another dive back into this red support band, or we're looking at continuation on. With everything else breaking out, we could see this potentially break out as well. So, I don't know if you guys have targets for this. Stuff like this, it's something I could trade. I mentally have a mental block trying to long something called Fartcoin. I'm dead focused on Ethereum, which is so much more important. The most hated coin in crypto right now. Albeit not anymore. It's people are now bullish on it, so whatever. But let me know what your thoughts are. Hot air rises. I enjoy the hell out of the memes and really watching it. We're watching a Murad arc. We're also watching a Dip Wheeler arc, so it's been fun. And frankly, a lot of dudes are getting good at range trading this. There's also a lot of, when we're grinding sideways, which we've been doing a bit, not so much lately, but when we're doing a bit, people have been looking at the meme coins to actually get some volatility to intraday scalp trade. So, it is what it is. But moving on, again, thanks for coming online and hanging out with us. It's our Thursday nights. And I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to be hanging out in the Discord for quite a bit tonight. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with all the OGs. I need to review this with my lawyer buddy. Clarity Pass has been completed in the House. This is likely going to go all the way through, but essentially we're getting legislation clarifications toward crypto. This is actually a pretty big deal from what I've heard. I just don't know what the latest revision is. I got to see what actually hit the floor because there was a few revisions running around. But good news. It's We need rules. We need regulation. I say that Coinbase has been fighting SEC and Gary Gensler for years, and it finally took like BlackRock to come in with them and say, F it, we're getting these ETFs through. We don't care what you say, Gary, and they got it through. So we'll see. But anyway, moving on. Now, speaking of crazy things, people are now bullish Ethereum. I'd like to say the Rainbow 3 traders in the Discord, and as well as some OG friends of ours, have been bullish on Ethereum since $4,000. I'm kidding. We've been really bullish since the Channel Walker signal broke at 1,800. And now we have it moving back up. We'll have to check the chart soon. We'll get there. But I think it's getting closer to 3,500. Which is crazy. 4,000's been our target since we broke 1,800. And we're now coming up on a 100% move on spot so far that we've documented on one of the most hated assets. And right now, we just passed Platinum, Johnson & Johnson, and now it's coming up against Costco. So if we flip Costco, that's going to be pretty interesting. Bitcoin's way higher up there. But if you ever see people show this stuff, it's sometimes kind of hard to find this chart. So I wanted to show you. It's the website is companiesmarketcap.com. And you can actually see worldwide assets comparing crypto. So instead of like CoinMarketCap, this shows you the top assets in the world, whether that's gold, oil, silver, platinum, companies, stock, etc. And right now, the king is gold. King is at 22 trillion. The legacy is for Bitcoin to flip this. Now, remember how big of a deal Bitcoin was when it flipped 1 trillion market cap? Like how pivotal that moment was? We're at 2.4, and like no one's talking about it. We're going to be closing in on 3 trillion not too long. And if we start flipping the threes, you're talking about taking out Apple, Microsoft, and then catching up to NVIDIA. Realistically, this could become the number 2 asset in the world by the end of the year. It could be. I'm not going to claim on it. I'm betting on it. I'm not going to promise you that, right? Remember, the stream's for educational purposes only, and is clearly an art stream, and you're talking to a rainbow cow who wears sunglasses, so it is what it is. But it's really impressive because a little while ago, like Bitcoin was below silver, and it's really cool to see this thing work its way up. Frankly, I'm going to be beating my chest on a lot of the people that compare this thing to tulips when we get to number 2 or the top 3. That's a hell of a price target to get here, though. We're talking double, little less than double, but we're talking 200K probably to do it, which would be awesome. But by that time, dude, if we get close to 200K, imagine the FOMO. A lot of you guys don't remember the old school FOMO from back in 2017. Where the charts were just going vertical. I mean, it was just straight up vertical. You even saw the memes where the charts were going backwards, so it was pretty damn crazy. But anyway, moving on. The other source that if you want to look at is CoinMarketCap. This is a really good one, and you can actually see more of the data here focused strictly on Bitcoin and crypto, nothing like the other stocks, but this is a really good reference as well. But to give you like an idea, it's 2.4 trillion. Here's your 0.4 trillion, 0.2 on XRP. I don't really consider the stables anything. But realistically, you've got like Solana at like 0.1 trill. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Flipping gold, I don't think it's going to happen this cycle. Maybe. Nah, even if they kill the dollar, I don't think flipping gold's going to happen this cycle. When I say this cycle, I'm talking about the 4-year cycle. I think eventually it could. But if we're talking 20 trillion, 22 trillion, whatever, you basically need to 10x the current price to hit that. The market cap needs to be 23 trillion to flip gold. You're talking about $1.2 million per Bitcoin. You're talking about 7 figures per Bitcoin to hit that. Now, it's possible. And to keep that in mind, it is possible. Ripple to 589, not possible. There's just not enough capital in the world. There's not enough gold, silver, Bitcoin, whatever to even fund that. But 1 million is possible. I just don't think time-wise or the merit multiples, we're going to get there. So, it is what it is. But back to reality, back to craziness. SBET has amended their practice. They're going for $5 billion valuation to raise to buy Ethereum. This is the company that decided to say, hey, we're gonna stack Ethereum in our treasury. And they did this when like everyone was hating on Ethereum, and it was like, dear God. And you can see what the actual investors said as well. They completely teleported this gap. And you can see it was running like crazy, and then it completely dumped. The reversion bands are trying to keep up with this damn thing, and all over the place. But look at this print. From the bottom, even if you want to grab that later bottom print on the 1 hour, it's up 297%. And they're raising another $5 billion to buy Ethereum. If we go, I mean, you have to remember the $5 billion, and I think there's only $500 billion in Ethereum right now. So they're talking about like 1% of the supply of Bitcoin or of Ethereum just to raise, and they're going to be buying it and staking it. Well, I don't know about staking it because that's another legal thing, but it's pretty interesting. They're super bullish on Ethereum. Gap down, close the gap, and it's just been straight up. These are 1 hours candles that are just straight up pink. 15s are pink. This is nuts, guys. It's awesome though. It's fun to see. There's a lot of volatility because we actually saw this print after hours. We're like, whoa. What just happened here? It teleported straight into pink RSI, well below the bands. It's pretty insane, but they're going hard on Ethereum, and now they're looking like geniuses because Ethereum's over doubled since the micro bottom. So anyway, but like I said, a reminder, we're streaming on Twitter and YouTube. So if you want to join the chat and actually see what the dudes are actually saying, you pretty much need to go to YouTube because that's the only thing you'll really... Well, you can see the Twitter chat here. It just doesn't work when you talk back. Elon, please fix the API. But moving back, this is our old... I hate this. This is our old chart, and everyone is like bullish Ethereum now. I just wanted to like tell you guys, we had a lot of rainbow traders that woke up on this thing at 1800, a little below 1800. We didn't catch the bottom, but we were watching this channel walk, and this channel walk printed for 5 months before it broke. And once it did break, we were like, dude, pay attention. Everyone absolutely hates this damn asset, but channel walks that are multi-month that break like this, it's like 90+% hit rate that you're going to get the reversal. You need to pay attention. And right around that time, this was fantastic. This was Gainsey talking trash about it, and this was actually like the Pico bottom.
Think they'll use.
So shout out Gainsey. I love him to death. He cracks me up. I don't want to get striked on this, but definitely go check it out because he was literally talking about it in an honest fashion about how all the problems they have with that, have with the ETH Foundation constantly selling. But to be frank, ETH Foundation's fading. They're running out of Ethereum. Other people are now stacking it, just like MicroStrategy is. So the assets and the people that hoard it are drastically making the ETH Foundation less important. Now, if we actually go look at this, holy crap, it's like 3,600. This is sick. Oh, this is sick. You guys don't know how long I am Ethereum, and it's going to plan, which is awesome. It's one thing to tell you guys like, hey, these are how to read the tools, but to actually like, hey guys, this is a rainbow theory move. This is what the whales are doing. Pay attention here. It's hard because people will FOMO stuff that you tweet, and it's a bit intimidating because you'll be looking at something and talking about it, and then someone will message you that they put like 250K like long on it, and you're like, dude, what? Okay. Makes you a little more careful about like what you say, but needless to say, the way with like rainbow theory stuff is it's 10,000 lines of code, and it's designed to make you a better trader. We've back tested this for years. We've forward tested this for years. It's designed to give you an edge. And if that edge makes you more profitable every month, that's the freaking goal. It's not going to spoon feed you. Nothing is that easy, but it's going to try to and force you to break your habits and trade with the whales. And that's what we saw here. And this was one that I came out and said, hey, you need to pay attention. This is 1800. This is breaking a multi-month channel walk from our, let me go back to daily, clean it up a little bit. There you go. I say I try not to spoon feed it, but like that's a top signal. Like come on. I love the runnerbot tool. So fun. Anyway, major support right down here. Support mid-range support order block, another mid-range, and then the top one. But this was the channel walk that we focused on for months. And this was agony. The number 2 crypto in the world, Ethereum, drug down for 5 months. Went all the way down to what is it? 1389. Ugh. If we actually talk about this, it's a 66% drawdown. Now, I've seen 90s, I've seen 95s, I've seen Luna do 99%. Fuck, zero, basically. But we broke out. And we went straight into a setup, which was a Rainbow Theory BART. And my gut was telling me, hey, I want this to go up, but I see the BART. I see that it's tagging the mid-range resistance here. The signal's telling me it's going to reset. Lo and behold, it did. We hit the TD13, not the TD, I'm sorry, the Mali 13. Very, very big typo there in my talking. We saw the 13 print on this support pivot here, tagged it, and started going up. And I was talking to CryptoZen about this. This is technically a reset, like a full BART reset where the whales are just playing with you. They go up, sideways, and they come all the way back down to the beginning of the hairline, which is right here. On this one, they only reset it on the order block and barely almost tagged the reversion band. So, we're picking it up here. There's multiple order blocks from the main indicator algorithm saying, hey, ... We've got our manual order block like drawn there. We have a bottom print. We have reversion bands. We have the Mali pivots and sequentials all the way up to 25. And then we have the bounce up. So we technically BARTed, technically reset. But the biggest thing is, dudes, we invalidated the BART. And I've been telling you guys for weeks, if we invalidate this BART, I am bullish anything with a ticker in the market space. And so far, we have broken up and out, and we've just been pushing up against the reversion bands. You push into these reversion bands, you roll over your RSI, you push up again, roll over your RSI, and you just keep grinding up. In general, when you have reversion bands like this on a big alt like Ethereum, you don't just go straight through them. You typically have to nudge them, drag them up, nudge them, drag them up, and work your way up. Right now, we're printing pink candles on H4. We're crushing it. We're up to almost 3,600 right now as we speak. This is insane. It's awesome. We can be bullish Ethereum again. The future of finance, Ethereum 2.0. Now, volume's been clustering in as well, and we're now watching the actual Coinbase versus Binance Premium tool. Now, when you drop this tool on your chart, remember, you have to set it for what you're looking at. Right now, we're looking at Ethereum, so I have the Ethereum selected, right? Click that. Bloop. And right now, you can see Ethereum is starting to gap. What's this mean? Coinbase bulls, Coinbase whales are sending it right now on Ethereum. That's the focus. That's who's really, really hitting it up. So it's crazy. Now, people ask me, how high is it going to go? How high is it going to go? It's like, dudes, we were one of the only groups bullish on Ethereum back in April. Now they want the targets, right? It was damn hard to talk about bullish on Ethereum at 1,800 because everyone was hating it, and I was like, "This is the signal." I started noticing Malifestro waking up to it. I saw 9K kind of waking up to it. I saw Pixa not admitting it, but you could tell subtly he was picking it up. But it looked like we finally got a bottom out of this thing, and it's so far we've been right. And this is now 2 counter trades in a row. People absolutely dogging on Ethereum, and we've caught the bottom. And now we're almost back up to the order block. So people are asking about what's next. I've been waiting for this breakout, and since we've had the breakout, we've been targeting 4,000. That's 140-ish, 144. There we go. That's my favorite number. We're going for 144% move. From there, I don't know. If you've noticed, 4,000 has held down Ethereum since March of 2024. It's not the all-time high. The all-time high is way back here at like 49, almost what's called 5K, right? And that was 2021? Yeah, 2021. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Pixa. Pixa just dropped a 3,400% P&L in the Discord. On XRP. Of course, Pixa had the perfect long. If you guys don't know, he's one of our OG Rainbow Theory traders in the Discord. He's a goat. But anyway, sorry, I just get the alerts on my Discord when I'm talking. But anyway, my bets are off once we hit 4K. What does that mean? I'm going to just be chill. This took a lot of stones. This took a lot of studying. This took a lot of energy to commit to this. We're now coming back up to the target, which has been 4K. From here, if we touch 4K, this is where I want to act safe, not act like an idiot. Get here, maybe not exactly touch, but dude, we're at 36. We're not that far from 39, the bottom of this print. We get around there. Let's chill out on Ethereum. Let's see what happens. Because this is the reality. I was talking to my lawyer bro today. When you're betting on when you're betting on ranges to break, what you're doing is you're counter trading resistance. You're betting that resistance doesn't act like resistance. So what we can do here is just chill. We get here to resistance, we can chill out. We can hedge, we can risk off, we can sit in Bitcoin, we can sit in stables, we can do a lot of things, and we can wait. What I can tell you is there's a really good chance, even if we do break through this, that it hits this and starts going sideways, and when we go sideways, that right there is your alt season. You get Ethereum to hit 4K, then go sideways, but still kind of look bullish, not look skittish. That's where I'm talking about anything with a ticker gets to go. So, anyway, before we move on, as a reminder, if you guys can, hit the like button on YouTube. Follow us. We're trying to get this up to 500 followers on YouTube and keep crushing it. This YouTube is the hardest thing to grow on. But that's where we're at. And I may be wrong. Maybe this thing goes straight to 4K and just crushes right through it and says we're going all-time high. Ethereum's going to go to 10K. I don't really know yet. I have my ideas of where Bitcoin's going to go long-term. I just don't know where I'm going to go long-term with targets on Ethereum. Right now, I cared about the channel walk break, and that was my resistance target, and we're damn near there. We are currently up since the break. It's 114% call on something people hate, dudes. Like, give the rainbows some clout. People make fun of this stuff, but it's designed to work, not look cool. That's 115% move. We're going for 140, and then we can chill out from there. Past that, I don't know. We'll burn that bridge when we get there, right? But if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the chat. We're watching Twitter chat as well as the YouTube. What's up, man? Mim's another one of our OGs. But dude, you can check this. You can see this. Do you see the wiggling? So, quick reminder for the people that have missed it. This Coinbase versus Binance Premium tool, which we just released, it's in your inbox if you're a client, Rainbow Trends client. So definitely go make sure it's there and add it to your chart. If it's not, send me a DM. I'll fix it. Sometimes the system doesn't sync. But right now, this is comparing Coinbase USD versus Binance USDT Tether. Both the spot books, not the leverage, the spot books. And right now, what the trends have been showing us is we go hard in the paint when Coinbase is a premium. Coinbase is when it's Coinbase blue. Binance is when it's Binance yellow. That's when you can see the inverse of the premiums, right? Right now, it's sending it. Earlier this week, we started to go sideways, and we had our first little blip. right here, and I was like, oh crap. This could be the signal if Coinbase bulls don't just come back in and hit this hard. Lo and behold, they came in and saved it, and now we're printing at a premium on the 1 hour we haven't seen since that capitulation. So this is good. This is good. When I say good, it's great. The trend has been for the past 3 or 4 months, when Coinbase is struggling to balance the books with Binance, the bulls are in trend, price go up. We want to see that sustain. The instant we see this tool start flipping over yellow, we really need to pay attention. Why I say that, this is what I'm talking about. This was the previous run to $4,000 right here, and you can see the trend. Bulls going hard, and then bulls wrist off, and then Binance took over. And when Binance took over, we went from 4K all the way to 1,800, right? Or 1,300. So we want this to sustain. We want Coinbase not to mess this up. We want North American whales to keep pumping. And then we can have the crazy targets, right? That's what we want. If we go and look at the actual ETF flows, and I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, let me know in the chat. Flows are coming in crazy. I don't know when the last time is we... No, I take that back. I say I don't know when the last time is we saw 726 inflows. That's almost $1 billion on Ethereum ETFs on the stock market in the United States. That's actually the max we've ever seen. 726 is the most we've ever seen, period. These are like good days for Bitcoin ETF flows. It's awesome. We're actually seeing flows. If we go and actually look at Bitcoin, that was almost more than what they had on Bitcoin that day, which is crazy. Now, Bitcoin comes in and randomly does billions, but it's usually when BlackRock comes in and just throws down and says, hey, I'm king. But it's awesome to see. Flows are good. We've been watching flows forever, and it didn't really affect price, but in general, it's good. I did a double check this week and moved back to Grayscale, because remember, months and months ago, if you followed us, we were really watching to see how much Bitcoin the Grayscale fund was going to drop. The reason being, Grayscale had the biggest bags, Grayscale had the biggest fees, and people were going to dump this for either profit to go to the cash, or they were going to go and dump in and go into other assets, whether that be spot BTC, whether that's the lower feed, other ETFs. We weren't really sure, and we thought it was going to skew the results, that we were going to see Grayscale outflows, BlackRock inflows. And I just want to come back and check it, but right now it's just kind of chill. This is them bleeding out, and it's just kind of just not doing much. It'd be really crazy if it started increasing, because that would make no sense, because they're like the highest fee structure intentionally, so people would move out. But moving on, we'll see. Now, I hope that made sense, but we're going to transition from Ethereum. We normally start at Bitcoin, but we'll transition over here. Looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's at 120, almost 121. It's awesome. Now, if I zoom out, we've been going through a lot of stuff here. Sorry, let me get Armstrong right about there. So we've been doing, they had the big base reveal this week, so we'll keep Armstrong in the chat. So shout out, Brian. Albeit I'm a Jesse supporter. Now, this has been a very hard range. This has destroyed a lot of people. Bitcoin has been printing all-time highs and still liquidating a lot of people. Why do I say that? Not everything. 90. I say not. Let me restart. Just about everything you see on crypto Twitter is smoke and mirrors. Everyone wants to LARP. Everyone wants to tell you lies and tell you that Lambo is not a rental. I paid for it in cash with my pump fund thing, right? The truth is, this stuff's very, very, very hard, and this range was killer. The range before this was insane as well. This took every ounce out of Rainbow Theory to actually trade this. We had 2 creek jumps and a reaccumulation range, plus a capitulation carry trade on the yen, and we walked it all the way out. And we did really well there. We did a lot of proud work. Man, it was grueling and it wasn't fun. We were talking like 2-month rotations before these things. It was slow. We then broke out, went all the way up, and we hit the 6-figure mark, right? Quick recap here. We started ranging. We started saying, hey, it looks like this is the new support. It looks like this is the new resistance. looking good here. We had 3 drives up. We kind of got our range. And then we ranged for, February to November? 3 months or so. And then we completely broke through and almost came in and touched the 2024 order block, which was scary. And then we saw the whale print show up. And the whale prints kind of said, hey, we're popping back up. We're not doing this anymore. And then we've come back up and we've been trading this. And frankly, if you guys have a schematic that matches this, drop it in the chat or message me, bring it up in the Discord. I've never seen anything like this. So I've been finding my support, finding my resistance, listening to what the tools are telling me. This is not a clean channel walk. The Ethereum channel walk was clean. This one wasn't. So for a long time, when we were questioning stuff here, I was eyes on Ethereum because it was an easier chart to read. And then we've started to work our way up. And now we're kind of coming into this. We saw the expansion of a wedge here that completely teleported into the all-time high order block. Printed briefly a new all-time high, rotated, showed some really, really scary signs of rolling over here and resistance acting like resistance and pushing price down. And last time we saw price push down, it nuked, right? So this was scary. Lo and behold, pop, 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 we start moving back up. And now we set a new all-time high. So let me drop this in. We have another new all-time high. And now we're pushing. Now, where we go from here, runner? There's a few things. People keep talking retest, and sure, that was awesome. And as I'm scrolling over here, no, there was a whale print cluster here, dudes. Shout out Pixa, 4 whale prints in a row. Bop, 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 bop. That's the signal. You get the whale prints in a row, we are typically going to go in the direction where the cluster is because that's the whales coming in hard with money, and they don't care if my algos can detect them. Bam, 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 up, right? So we've been pushing here. We've been going up. And if I want to show you guys something. Last time we broke out. Now remember, this was a multi-month, damn near a year, whatever, 6 months. I don't remember how many months it was. It pumped up and it went all the way up to pink candles until it hit the reversion bands. And then it drove out, did another tap, drove out, and then it started forming a range. If we are to do this same type of fractal where we teleport up into hitting this reversion band, the current target for that's like 135. So shout out to the bulls if you can actually hit it. I took the old fractal and just kind of did it here. I don't trade fractals. I just kind of use them to check my sentiment on myself. We'll see. But this is where we're looking at. We're obviously in like all-time high territory, and we're going sideways a little bit on the lower time frames, but we don't have any pivots yet because this is new. RSI is super hot. We're printing whites on the H4. We printed a 9 Mali sequential here. We're starting to recover. This 401K news that Trump just signed is big deal as far as liquidity. Anyway, market liked that. Bitcoin liked that. But right now we're at 133 to even touch the reversion band. So if we really want to get a pump before we go sideways, we've got to tag this band here, which is going to put us in like the 135-ish. So that's where I'm thinking we might go. And just like what we had on the Ethereum, if you look at the Bitcoin comparison with the Coinbase premium tool, it showed the same blip that Ethereum did. And that's normal. Typically, if Bitcoin is doing a premium on Coinbase, so does Ethereum. Shocker, right? But right now, we're seeing that full-fledged come back. Coinbase premium is way back in the charts, and we're getting to see it. So, continuation on. That's what we want, and that's where we're at. So, anyway, end of cycle targets. I'm always going to rely on the Mayer multiple, and I need to update this somewhat. My linear lines from when we did it back in February of this year, we're starting to dip a little bit below them. So I need to kind of adjust these angles. But for the most part, our green window here, this was kind of the wide range. This is more of the narrowed range. We're kind of in the tail end of the 4-year cycle. This is what we're looking at. We're still kind of minimum target is probably going to be around 200-ish. People are really, really uneasy at 120. We easily could get to 200K, and that's about the time you start feeling comfortable, and then that's actually when you need to lock in and start realizing some profit. So we're gonna keep an eye on this. Look at this high time frame. This is Mayer multiples. Normally we ignore it like half the cycle, but now's the time that we actually pay attention. So shout out to the dudes who came up with this one. A lot of people never looked at the data. The data is amazing. I just happen to visualize it so you can actually project targets, because it tells you when you're in a bull. It tells you when you're in a bear. So we want that final bull run to hit eventually sometime for the cycle. So far, we haven't hit it. In these previous runs we had here, this was the 72, this was the 100K. We barely got close to the 1.6 standard deviation. We really need the 2.0 standard deviation to get into the range. But, dude, that's like 200K, which is crazy. I feel like we were streaming not too long ago, and it was like 25K, and we're like talking about, potential targets, 250, blah, blah, blah. And people like, damn, no way, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. Have fun with it. Because it's going to suck in a few years. We're going to have to potentially deal with down draws, but we'll see. If the target's $1 million, if you want to flip gold, and mind you, that's like every ounce of gold that's ever been mined since like pirate days, Aztecs, all that jazz. That's the gold flip target. It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. But anyway, moving on. Do you guys have any questions? Let me know. Thanks again to all the people who've hopped in. So, gold target right there, 7-figure Bitcoin. It's crazy to even talk about 6-figure Bitcoin, but welcome to 2025. So, how do I know we're close to end times? Bit origin is to raise up to $500 million in stock sales, plus $100 million in convertible debt, to buy Dogecoin, making it the first U.S.-listed company to adopt Doge as the core treasury asset. So just like MicroStrategy's, $500 million plus is being raised to put Dogecoin, meme coin on a U.S. stock company's treasury list. So this is the type of article you see at the end time. So keep in touch. If we look at our old Mayer multiple and we want to say 6 months is left, that makes the target. End of year craziness, this perfect. Let's get us that 250K Bitcoin and go from there. But anyway, take a look at the Doge chart. Doge has not done much this at all. It's been all different types of meme coins. The blue chip meme coins have not printed. Now, I do have Doge here. I need to add Fartcoin and do a Wheeler update, but Doge premium here, split volume here. It's doing all right, but we're talking 23 cents. I was promised dollar Doge way back in the day, and we're just not there yet. But we're now having the MicroStrategy's version of someone putting this on the asset sheet, so maybe. But high time frames, trust your pink candles and your top signals on the daily. They hit pretty damn hard. So anyway, we'll see. We have a long way to go from dollar Doge. I'm not a big Doge guy, but I just had to bring up that article because that's absolutely mental, and I don't know why you would ever do that to a company, but I can understand Ethereum. I could probably understand Solana doing that. Much past that, I don't... Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Like, I'm not going to put Litecoin or EOS or Bcash on a company's treasury. Like, just not going to do that. What do you guys... I mean, is there anything else you guys would put on a treasury? Because I don't... I know Doge is not on that list for me, personally. So, I don't know. I'm thinking. None of the AI tokens. I wouldn't put privacy. Anyway. But moving on, since we're talking degenerates, I'm going to stop here for a friend, Crypto Daddy. Tag your favorite crypto project. The community that shows up the most will get a spot on the newest graphics kit on the YZ450. So if you guys don't know, Crypto Daddy's in his redemption arc, hit 7 figures recently. Dude's been in some trenches, dug his way back out. I love this dude to death. He's one of the only dudes in Twitter that I get to talk motocross with, but he supported Rainbow Trends through thick and thin and hasn't asked for a single thing for it. So show this guy some love, and I just had to rag on him a little bit because this is the wrong color bike. It should be yellow. He should be rocking Suzukis. Maybe one day he'll afford a Suzuki. But let's tag him. Covering this on stream now. Much loved it. Much love. Get them to throw in a new bike stand. If you guys don't know, he was randomly working on his kid's dirt bike, and in the back corner of one of his photos was a dirt bike stand completely folded in half. And I was like, what on earth happened to that bike or that stand? And it's just been a running joke since. But anyway, talking about our crypto daddy who's in the trenches with a bunch of coins. Let's take a look at Pump Fun. Pump raised, dropped a coin this week. And lo and behold, it went up to 68, and now it's all the way back to 48. The one thing I want to tell you guys, when you get a coin like this to pump and get dropped and everything else, when I say pump, when a coin like this launches, just what we saw with Farcoin, because Farcoin clawed its way up from a meme coin all the way up there. The thing I would point out here is liquidity. Coinbase and Binance are really good at sell-side liquidity. A lot of these tokens can completely send it, and then when the big boys come in, it's sell-side liquidity. And that's what we're seeing here, and people are like shocked. They full ported this, and they got destroyed. I don't ever mess with this stuff unless I want to mess with these little crazy candles where the exchanges aren't balancing well and just sit there and try to watch multiple exchanges on the same same ticker. But right now, she's pulled back like 30% already. So meme coins are fun, but this is Kraken coming online. Coinbase came online. There have been so many projects that Coinbase listed and they've just fallen, right? That's when the big whales actually get liquidity to offload their bags. So keep that in mind. Listings are not always bullish. I'm usually more bearish towards listings. So anyway, yeah, thanks Pepe Cinco. Thank you. But speaking of big boys and liquidity, Coinbase is hitting, I believe, all-time highs. Is it all-time? If you don't count the listing, we're almost to like the first ticker on the first day when it dropped, right? Look, Coinbase liquidity on themselves, all the way down into the trenches to $31. Now we're rocking our way back up. Armstrong just rebranded the whole company to Base, which is going to be fun. But now we're starting to channel walk up, or it's not really a channel walk yet, but it's a trend in the bands where they can sustain this. You don't want to touch the cyan bands because that's the ultimate exit. But she's on a move, and she's moving a lot. So pay attention. Kraken IPO, I'm not sure when that's coming, but I believe it's coming as well. But that's what we're looking at. And sequentials all over the place. But moving on. Doge, we covered. I don't know, I had that listed twice. Looking at some other things, taking a look at Say. Say's actually been waking up lately. It reminds you, this thing hit $1, and now it's 36 cents, but it went all the way down to, I think that's the lowest. It went down to 13 cents from $1. That's like a 90% retrace, whatever. Don't quote me, 80 something or so. But the thing I would note is this thing has been showing serious strength, and something we covered in last stream, and I posted it in the Discord a while ago. Circle group, the people that are on the market right now for the stablecoin stuff, and as well as we're getting the stablecoin legislations passed through the House, which is great. We're looking at Say again. I am, at least. And this is a ride or die bag for me. I'll sell this when it reaches my mortgage. The point is the tech can technically handle payments on a mass scale for the world. This is one of the fastest things in the world to Say. It's got more throughput than like what Solana can do, which is saying a lot. It can do more than the Lightning layer on Bitcoin. It's actually pretty impressive what it can do. And if you've ever sent somebody Say, it's ungodly how fast it is and how fast it confirms. So I'm going to ride or die on this one, for better or for worse. But you can see the Circle group. This thing has been nuts. I know some people that traded this. I wasn't personally bullish on stablecoins, but this thing went from $100 all the way up to $300 same week on stock market. And now it's starting to wake back up, so we'll see how it goes. But with all degens, if we're talking meme coins, we have to go back to Solana. Solana has culture behind it, right? If you guys know the Rainbow Theory charts, go look at Malifestro's Sol charts for the lower time frames. Go look at my charts for the higher time frames. I look at a lot of stuff at H4, but Solana I look on the H1 or the H1, the 24 hours, the 1 days. The reason being is these support blocks and these color rotations couldn't be any cleaner. For the most part, the cheat code is sell at 188 or above and wait for it to come back down and touch 120. And so far, bam, 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 this pattern has held since March of 2024. Remind you, it's 2025. So we're looking here. Big nuke here. I actually thought this was going to just be gone. We got back up here. I was like, dude, this is sick. This is 265. This is like 300. This is crazy. Solon. Anson was right. We're going to get the sphere covered in whiff and all this other stuff. Sol actually formed a channel, broke out of it, and was kind of lagging. Like Bitcoin was ripping, Ethereum was ripping, and then Sol was kind of going sideways, right? When Ethereum was ripping, and I'm like, this feels weird. It feels weird. It finally tagged this bottom support. There's your cheat code. The 24-hour, the 1-day order block. It just barely wicked it at 126. Now we're back up to 180. So this doesn't look like a big move, but this is a big coin with big liquidity in like the top 5. So far, that's a 44% move. Now you're not going to get all 44% of that. You'll never will, but that's a good chunk. And we saw a channel. We saw the channel break. We saw the channel wedge, and now she's working her way back up. Am I telling you to long 188? No. We're about to approach resistance, and then we need to see if we're going to bet if resistance falls or not. So far, since 2024, March, the resistance has held, except for these brief periods where it was invalidated, and then it came back down and went back into the range. So we'll have to see. Now, with that being said, we now have order block data here. We know there's a second order block up here that's going to hit, and we have to go through it, but we'll see. We'll see. But much love. As we move on, continue. If you guys could like, comment, subscribe, helps us out. Holy shit. Someone just posted a $52,000 P&L in the Discord. Dude. I'm sorry. If you guys don't know, this has been one of the guys that's been with us for a while. He doesn't post much, but Toshi Nakafomo just dropped this in the Discord. If you guys don't know, we trade Jasmine a lot because that's Playmaker's coin, and like Playmaker's been with us for 4 years now. We love Playmaker. Dude, congratulations. If you see the green flare, that's our actual clients. That's amazing, dude. I'm talking Sol. We need to be talking Jasmine. He just posted that 1 minute ago. That's not staged streaming. I'm going to tag him in the Discord, talking this live. That's one of the highest P&Ls we've seen posted. I think we've seen a few over 100K on some really degenerate shit, but regardless, this is your Jasmine chart. I'll ask, hey, let me tag him. That's insane. Congratulations, dude. And that's the whole point. Like, people talk about like, hey, you're a scammer, you charge money for Rainbow Theory and stuff. My stuff is it's Rainbow Trends. The actual current released tool set is over 10,000 lines of code, and it's designed to make you more profitable. So if you're not making it, flat out, if you're not making the profit enough to cover the fees, cancel it. You will not hurt my feelings. Definitely hang out in the Discord. We're not going to shun you or anything. We love everyone who comes to the Discord. That's the place for the OGs to talk. We even have cloud traders in there who do nothing with our tools, but we like the dudes and they give us insight and we try to give them insight because this is all about trading against whales. But these are some serious moves he's catching here. And this was a long from, let me see the mark price, reference price, liquidation. Mark price is 17. No, that's when he sold. He's typing now. We'll see. But anyway, you can see this has got serious volatility. Machine learning algos here. If you can't tell, that really threw me off because that's awesome. I can tell you this: I didn't make 50,000 this week on Jasmy. I rarely ever trade this coin. We'll see what he says. He's typing. I want to see his chart. I'll throw it up on stream if he does it. We'll take a few minutes here and come back to it. Come on, Stongtoshi. But anyway, if I had to guess, anyway, moving on here. He's going off vibes, he says. He doesn't post charts. Come on now. That's a hell of a move. Downtrend, channel walk, and break, move up. Now, that's the other thing. This may be more volatile than some of the other coins we're looking at. 70%. Bravo. Bravo. Anyway, moving on. Since we're talking stuff, Lil Moon Lambo posted this, and it couldn't be any more relatable. Nobody but my Uber driver watching the XRP chart. I don't know what it is with people that just first get into crypto, but they are obsessed with Ripple, and it's amazing. I can't hate this coin anymore. But with that being said, now mind you, this run here was them beating up the SEC, right? SEC decided to throw down with Ripple. They thought Ripple was going to roll over, and then Ripple's like, I got funds to fight you, and I can afford better lawyers than you, and they threw down. Now, it's pumping, going sideways, and going again. This should remind you of old school SHIB charts. SHIB would do these ridiculous 200% pumps and then go sideways, and it either bled down and barred, or it went up for a second leg, and it actually looks like we're going up for a second leg. I'm not going to touch Ripple, but a lot of people are. Shout out to you if you're trading this, but I want to remind you guys, Ripple hit $3.20 plus cents in 2017, and we're just now back up to $3.56. Litecoin at the time was 400 something, and Litecoin's only like $100 right now, unless it's blasted during the stream. We can check it real quick. Litecoin 103. So, long story short, this cycle, Bitcoin's crushed everything. We've had trends show up. They last for about 3 weeks. I cannot remember how important ordinals were and we're supposed to take over. Inscriptions, Bitcoin Smart Chain, AI agents, render, AI tokens like Render and all this other stuff. We had Ondo. We had real world RWA coins. Way back when we had hamster racing. But now we're kind of rotating back into the dinos, which is interesting. But that being said, this thing, the target is not $500. It's impossible. Go look at the old streams if you want. But moving on. 2 years. So Coinbase rebranded. But I want to remind you guys, be careful. This guy got burned way back in the day. Allegedly. I don't know the guy. But he says, I got 55 ETH stuck on Arbitrum's side. Are you guys ever going to fix the old bridge contract? All it would take for you guys to give me my ETH back is to create da-da-da-da-da. If you can finalize and get his stuck transaction back, so it was great. Essentially, something went bad with the old bridging contracts on Base. This dude got screwed and got stuck. And he lost 55 ETH, which is really stinging right now that we're getting closer to 55 ETH. But instead of them fixing it, Coinbase deleted every tweet that ever mentioned it. So it's fun. Shout out to Inverse, bro. Love that dude. But yeah, this was the rebrand they did this week. And their head dude meeting the CEO, one of their head guys meeting the CEO, and they mess up the handshake. So I don't know about you, but Kraken would never. And this is my window to remind you guys, if you're a current subscriber, much love to you. And if you want 10% off for life, go sign up with Kraken. That's the only crypto exchange I vouch for. I really like them. I really like Jesse. I like the vibes. And I used to prefer Coinbase. the GUI as well as their product, as well as liquidity. That is no longer the case. I prefer Kraken everything. The speed, I really prefer their API for bots. I do like their actual trading better. They've got a better GUI. They don't turn off all the time like Coinbase does. They have better uptimes as well. But the real big thing I'm going to try to sell you on right now, and even if you don't use any of this stuff, don't worry about it. For your own sake, Kraken has absolutely dominated the US side as far as staking. Go take a look at this. They have auto earn now, which is basically you just say turn on auto earn. They automatically stake all your assets that are eligible for staking, and there's no unstake times. So if you just turn it on, they'll start staking your assets, and you just trade as if you're unaffected by it. You can market sell instantly. You can market buy instantly. Is what it is. But check this out. They're giving 6.5% on bonded 30-day USDT. 4.25% on flexible. Like, that's 6.5's high. Now, that's not going to be like that forever probably, but this is much higher than what Coinbase is giving you. They're giving you up to 10% on bonded 30-day SOL, say up to 5% and 3% flexible. If you can guess where I trade my say, it's here, and I'm constantly getting free say just being long say, which is awesome. I know a lot of people offer this, blah, 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 and yeah, but like I don't support risky overseas exchanges. I support North American exchanges because I'm always going to be sticking with them. Always stick with an exchange that's in your jurisdiction because if shit goes down, you can actually sue them and actually fight them. But they give you up to 6.5% on Ethereum staking, which is crazy. If you're long-term ETH bull, dude, you can get 6.5%, which is just nuts. So I sound biased. Dude, don't use my affiliate link. Like, no one does. But, like, definitely go check them out. I love their mobile app is so damn good. And the APRs are better. And their fees, like your market buying and selling fees, are roughly half of what Coinbase is. So that pays for itself. But go to the main website, Rainbow Trends, hit our tutorials page. It's right here, the Kraken affiliate link. If you want our little URL right there, use that and sign up. It works really well. But moving on, if we actually talk about let me see, did I delete it already? I think I did. The White House talking about making it rain. S&P 500 hitting all-time highs. Dow Jones Industrial hitting all-time highs. We covered this in multiple streams. We showed our absolute worst walls. We DCA'd into this. We did really, really well. I personally got in about 6 figures, around 5,200-ish, roughly around here. So I wish I got more, but I kept powder in the tank in case we go here. But maybe the bears are right. Maybe we're going to revisit 3,000, but I don't think so. The interesting part here, as we were talking stock to flow, we were talking Mayer multiples, all that jazz. Bitcoin's coming up to, Bitcoin is coming up to end of cycle of the 4-year cycle, which implies a pullback and a multi-year bear market. With that being said, May 18th, Jerome Powell leaves the Federal Reserve. And Trump gets to put in, could be Vance. They're going to put somebody in who's going to do drastic rate cuts. Trump right now is asking for a 300 basis point cut. He wants us down to like 2 to 1% or so. And if we're at all time, this is my question. I don't know the answer to this, guys. Let me know what you think in the chat. But if crypto's at an this is May. We're talking like till here. Let me draw it out real quick. Thanks for all staying with me. I'm going to call it November is really like, we're right there, beginning of December. I'll move it over a little bit, but there's the end of November. That's really where we're talking like the end of our window for the crypto all-time high for like Bitcoin, and then we start the multi-year cycle where we go down. That's what's happened every time so far. It's not going to happen all the time. Oh, I cut out? Ooh, I did have 200 frames drop. Test. Are we good? Let me check. Is Twitter still up? Yeah, Twitter's back. Thank you, Sean. May have had an interruption. One of my most little story time here, chat. One of my most high profile interviews. I was actually interviewing Dylan LeClaire, and this is when I first started. Pepe, we're back, or is it broken? Can you guys hear me? Can you see this? Let me know, please. Okay, cool. We're back. I used to get really nervous during streams, and then I used to get even way more nervous during interviews. And like Dylan LeClaire gave me an interview way back in the day when I was nobody. What's up, C-Day? C-Daleb. And in the middle of that interview with Dylan LeClaire, I'm when I was nobody. What's up, C-Day? C-Daleb. And in the middle of that interview with Dylan LeClaire, I'm like 30 minutes into it. I kicked my Cat 5 cable behind the desk and it disconnected. I about had a panic meltdown. Connected it all back, and thank God everything reconnected. Oh, hold on. It says now it's telling me Twitter's reconnecting. Sending data. We may be losing the Twitter stream. Coinbase is up though. Or Coinbase. YouTube is up if you guys want to stay there. Yeah, I think it's up. Let's see. Test for our Twitter folks. I don't know. Let me refresh it and see. I'll check real quick before I move on to the last slides. It's looking like we're good. Yeah, streaming, we're good. We're back. I don't know why Twitter's being weird. Let me draw a big heart and see if I see it on Twitter. Nope. Come on. Test. I can hear my own voice watching the stream. Yeah, there's a heart. I think we're good. Yeah, we're back. All right, Sean, we'll keep going. Now, let's take a look real quick. NVIDIA. Solar flare. Yeah, we'll blame solar flares. Yeah, this is crazy. NVIDIA is ripping all-time highs. AI continues to crush it. Elon's doing some weird stuff with making companion models. But regardless, the amount of companions he's going to make, it's going to require more NVIDIA cards, so they continue to move up and crush it. But you've seen the charts. We touch red bands. It's pretty good entry. Not going to lie. There's a lot of science behind it. These whales bounce on these, and you can see them buy it. So NVIDIA's crushing it. Tesla's going sideways, though. I'm still not... I want to get back in on Tesla. I just don't have the entry yet. You guys may be trading this smaller range, but since this top signal on the H4, I've been out, and then Elon and Trump started beefing. It briefly hit our order block here, but this order block is dead middle of the reversion bands, and I cannot stand trading in the middle of the bands. I want to be on the extremities of it, right? So I'm waiting, and it's starting to become less volatile. It's starting to squeeze a little bit. We'll see if Mally picks up a Mally squeeze setup. We'll see. But this is... I'm waiting and seeing. It's just not there yet. We'll see. They're arguing again. They're talking more Epstein stuff. We'll see if I can get permanent banned on my socials again talking about that. But moving on. Closing in towards the end. Taking another look at MicroStrategies. Keep an eye on this one. Bitcoin's breaking out. Things are waking up. 401k liquidity. MicroStrategies is going to keep top blasting till the end of time. They're not at all-time high yet. All-time high is 540, but they're working on it. They're working hard on it. So I'm watching this one as well. This is still one of my best trades of all time. I bought a single share of MicroStrategies way back in the day, so that if I ever met Saylor, I could address him as a part owner of his company. But so far, they've split multiple times, so it's been awesome. But anyway, It's now 9:15. We're running a little bit late. Thank you all for showing up. Please smash the like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff on YouTube. For Twitter, say hi. We're going to go head to the Discord, and we're going to hang out with the rest of the night. We're going to talk to all the OGs. And as always, our Discord is right here at the top banner in pinkish purple on the website. It's also in my Twitter profile. But yeah, go say hi. Come hang out with us the rest of the night. You guys want to show your charts or ask questions on how any of these tools work or what we think about different things? Let us know. We'll see it.